Welcome to your final push for RE-NEET 2026. This video focuses on high-yield topics, smart revision, and staying calm. Remember, this is not just an exam, it is your dream. Let's make every minute count with 24 hours of maximum focus for your maximum score. We have compiled the top 25 NCERT lines that are most likely to be asked in the exam. These cover key concepts from various chapters, ranging from animal kingdom to human reproduction. Pay close attention to these verbatim points for your final revision. Here are the top 20 must-revise topics for your biology section, focusing on genetics, biotechnology, and human physiology. Expect both direct NCERT lines and concept-based questions. Make sure you are solid on these before exam day. Continuing with our high-yield list, these 10 additional topics cover everything from inheritance and photosynthetic pathways to biodiversity and microbes. These are chosen based on recent trends and NTA patterns. Let's look at some practice questions. First, understanding mRNA sequence from the coding strand is a classic high-probability question. Second, remember that the lac operon's negative regulation is a staple concept for the NEET exam. Knowing which RNA polymerase synthesizes which product is essential. Also, don't forget the proof that DNA is the genetic material, demonstrated by the Hershey-Chase experiment using radioactive markers. When reviewing post-transcriptional events, remember they all occur in the nucleus. For biotechnology, understand how insertional inactivation of a gene in a cloning vector like PBR322 helps in identifying recombinant transformants. Be sure to recall the first clinical gene therapy for ADA deficiency. Additionally, grasp the RNA interference pathway clearly. It is a conceptual topic frequently tested for its mechanisms. The PCR technique relies on the heat-stable Taq polymerase, which is a critical point. Also, remember that ethidium bromide and UV light are the standard tools for visualizing DNA fragments during gel electrophoresis. In human physiology, the sliding filament theory is a must-know. For the digestive system, be ready to identify the role of oxynotic cells in secreting HCl and intrinsic factor. Familiarize yourself with the partial pressures of gases in the respiratory system. Also, master the countercurrent mechanism in the loop of Henle, as it is a frequent point of confusion in exam questions. Understand the components of an ECG, especially the QRS complex for ventricular depolarization. For hormone action, distinguish between steroid hormones, which bind to intracellular receptors, and peptide hormones, which use second messengers. Know the resting membrane potential of a neuron, where the membrane is more permeable to potassium than sodium. Also, be prepared to solve genetics cross problems, such as calculating the probability of disease in sickle cell anemia offspring. For chromosomal disorders, recognize the symptoms of Down syndrome, such as a single palm crease. Additionally, ensure you clearly distinguish between pleiotropy, where one gene affects multiple traits, and polygenic inheritance, where multiple genes affect one trait. Remember that evolution is a stochastic, not a directed process. Finally, know that analogous organs, like the flippers of penguins and dolphins, are prime examples of convergent evolution. Good luck with your final preparations. Moving into ecology, let's solve question 23. According to the 10% law, energy transfer decreases by 10% at each trophic level. Starting with 10,000 joules at the producer level, the secondary consumer receives 100 joules. In question 24, we address the logistic growth equation. The parameter K represents the carrying capacity, which is the maximum population size that a specific environment can sustainably support. Question 25 tests your knowledge of ecological pyramids. The pyramid of biomass in an aquatic ecosystem is unique because it is generally inverted, unlike most other ecological pyramids which remain upright. Question 26 covers population interactions. An orchid growing as an epiphyte on a mango tree is a classic example of commensalism, where the orchid benefits from support while the mango tree remains unaffected. Next, the evil quartet, mentioned in question 27, identifies the 4 primary causes of biodiversity loss: habitat loss and fragmentation, overexploitation, alien species invasion, and co-extinctions. For question 28, we look at the species-area relationship. While the typical z-value ranges from 0.1 to 0.2, for frugivorous birds and mammals in tropical forests across continents, the value of z is 1.15. Question 29 focuses on human reproduction. Ovulation is triggered by a rapid surge of luteinizing hormone, or LH, at mid-cycle, usually around day 14, causing the Graafian follicle to rupture. In question 30, we identify that Leydig cells, found in the interstitial spaces of the testis, are responsible for the synthesis and secretion of androgens, specifically testosterone. Moving to question 31, Saheli is an important contraceptive pill. It is a non-steroidal, once-a-week oral contraceptive developed by CDRI Lucknow, known for having very few side effects. Finally, for question 32, if a female has blocked fallopian tubes, IVF followed by intrauterine transfer is the most suitable assisted reproductive technology, as it bypasses the fallopian tubes entirely. We have reached the end of our high-yield review. These questions and concepts are essential for your NEET preparation. Keep revising, stay focused, and maintain your confidence as you approach the exam. Remember, consistency is key. Don't just memorize the answers. Understand the underlying principles in ecology and human physiology that these questions highlight for your test. Utilize your remaining time to practice these types of application-based questions. The NCERT textbook remains your most valuable resource for every topic discussed in this video. Take care of your health during these final days. A clear mind is just as important as the knowledge you've acquired. You have worked hard to reach this stage. Good luck with your final exam preparations. Believe in your preparation, trust your practice, and do your best on the big day. You are ready for this challenge.